Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. This is going to be the first free training that I've ever done, and you guys get to be a part of it. So I'm so happy that you guys are here and that I get to connect with you and we get to talk a little pitching. So I'm really proud of you guys for showing up. There are, let's see, 455 people inclining to attend this. If you are from a different country, I would love it if you let us know what country that you're from in the comments. And then also go ahead and put what state you're from. If you are from the United States, would love to hear where all of you guys are coming from. If you can't hear, it's most likely Germany, I saw, Mexico, Canada. It goes by so fast. Michigan, Kansas, Oklahoma, Maine, Hawaii. Oh, it's so cool, you guys. Everybody watching from so many different places. I love it. Venezuela. Wow, Montana. You guys, I'm just so happy that you're here with me. I see Marty from Austria, a lot of people who have taken my courses. You guys are here. You guys are going to hear a lot of the same things, but it's so good for you guys to hear it again still. For those of you guys who might not know me, I'm Amanda Scarborough. I just wanted to let you know, I don't know, maybe you think you're like, my mom signed me up for this. My dad, I don't know who this person is that's talking to me. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself first. And also I wanted to give you a heads up that my course, my online course, launched today. It's called Foundation Maximizer course. I'm going to be Columbia. I'm going to be telling you guys more about the course at the end of this after we go over the few key things that I wanted to be able to impact you guys with about pitching. So be sure that you hang on until the end so you get an opportunity to hear all about it. And learn what all the bonuses are and the different things this time about my online course that launched today. So a little bit about me. I started pitching when I was 8 or 9 years old. I was not the best one when I first started. In fact, I would say that I was like the number 3, number 4 pitcher on my team, but I loved it. I wanted to do it. The opportunities that I got when I got to be out in the circle, ball in my hand, and usually pitching against the really good teams because I threw a little bit slower. So I always pitched against the really good teams in 12U and 10U to be able to throw them off because I didn't pitch that hard and usually they were way out in front of me. But I stuck with it. I continued to play. I got on travel ball teams, started to get recruited, ended up playing at Texas A&M. So I grew a lot. I stuck with it. I kept working on great mechanics, a foundation, getting the most out of my body. And because of that, I grew later on in high school, where I became the number 1, number 2 pitcher on my team. And that's when I ended up getting recruited to play at Texas A&M, which I'm from Texas. I'm from Houston. I live in Austin. And I played at A&M. I was an All-American 2 different years. I went to the Women's College World Series that you guys see on TV 2 different years. And I loved my time there. We played in the national championship game. We ended up losing. A big part of my story is that I had a lot of injuries in college. I got hit in the head with a ball whenever I was playing first base. And I also had a career-ending foot injury my senior year. So I've had a lot of ups and downs, from All-American pitcher to a player who's injured, can't go out and play in the Women's College World Series. Now I get to call games on ESPN. I called the Women's College World Series and I call college softball games on ESPN. I am the lead pitching instructor with the package deal, which I'm sure that you guys know a lot about. We do clinics all over the country. And I also do online courses that I just mentioned, that was launching today. I love, but pitching's my thing. I hit, you guys. I play first base. I was in the everyday lineup, but pitching is my thing. Pitching is my pride and joy. Pitching is what I am by far most passionate about. And I think that you guys are probably pretty passionate about it too, or else you wouldn't be here. I wanted to start off with a quote, actually. If you know me, you know that I like quotes because to me, they are inspiring. Quotes to me are, I don't know, they just impact me because I think at different times when I see different quotes, they can mean something different to me. So this one really played an impact, I think, on today with you guys being a part of this training and also thinking about just trying to find ways to get better. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That's a quote by Winston Churchill. So why I love that so much is because even if you're really good right now, just play it. Whenever I put up something, please don't draw on it. Just my one little request. Whenever you're really good and you're even had a great game or a great weekend or a great day, that's not final. Just because you're great one day doesn't mean that you're going to be great the next day. You have to go out and work at it. You have to continue to find ways to push yourself, to grow yourself mentally, to grow yourself physically. And by the same time, failure isn't going to kill you. Failure isn't going to be the end if you don't let it. If you don't say, all right, I failed, but failure is feedback. It's not fatal. Failure is feedback. But overall, it's the big courage to continue, just continuing to work hard, continuing to push. That's what really counts. That's what really matters. So I asked you guys to bring a notebook, bring a pen. If I'm you, I'm writing down that quote. I'm writing down bullet points. I'm writing down different key things that I know can change my game. Okay, so the things that we're going to talk about are going to be my pitcher success cycle. I'm going to talk about my pitcher success cycle. I'm going to talk about the most important mechanics. I'm going to talk about the 4 keys to accuracy, and I'm going to show you my favorite velocity drill. Okay, we're going to cover all of that today, plus I'm going to tell you about the course at the end. So the first thing that I want to tell you about is what I call my pitcher success cycle. I came up with this all on my own, and I showed you what the question marks were. Actually, let me adjust this for a second. It's okay. I showed you the question marks. So to me, this is my success cycle, okay? We're gonna go through different stages, but our ultimate goal is to become this in the circle: unbreakable, confident, belief in yourself, feeling like you can get anybody out, feeling like you can go up against any team, feeling like you can have a couple hits off of you and it's not gonna change your mindset, feeling like you can have a bad game and rebound the next game. Okay, that's our goal. That's our end game, right? It doesn't matter what team we play on, how old we are, if you're playing in college, playing in the Olympics, our ultimate goal is stage 4, to become unbreakable, to be a competent pitcher. So what I wanted to tell you first is how to get there. Our first step to get there, and this is kind of answering along the lines, what comes first? Do I do speed first? Do I, learn new pitches first? What comes first? Your first step, and this is a really, really, really big one, is to build your form and your technique. And a different way that I say that is to build your foundation. That's step number 1. And our first step to becoming a confident, unbreakable pitcher is to build your form and build your technique and make sure it is right on. It is strong. Your muscles start to create great habits, great movements that will make you be the best, most strong pitcher that you can be with your mechanics. The second stage, after you know that you have learned great mechanics, you have worked on them really hard with fundamental drills that put you in the right place every time, your second step is remember, mind you, this is my success cycle for an unbreakable pitcher. Your second step is to grow your accuracy. Okay, you've built your form, it's locked in. You start to grow your accuracy by putting the ball anywhere that you want to. Somebody says up and in, you can throw it there up and in the next pitch. Maybe it takes you 2 pitches, but you have confidence to be able to grow your accuracy, to be able to go up in the zone, to be able to go low in the zone, to be able to go in, and to be able to go out. The best pitchers in college right now, okay? The best pitchers like Rachel Garcia, Miranda Elish, I'm thinking of just name G. Juarez, like any pitcher that you can think of. They are pitchers who can throw more up in the zone and down and go in and out. Now, do they have a favorite side, up, down? Yes, of course. But still, they know that in order to be successful, they have to be able to put the ball location-wise wherever they want, whether that's with a fastball, a curveball, rise, drop, whatever. Okay, so you build your foundation, grow your accuracy to become pinpoint location, and then you want to add velocity, and I say and or movement. This is a stage where maybe you're working on learning a new pitch, and so you want to make it a pitch that has even more movement. Maybe you're pushing yourself to get stronger with your leg drive, to gain miles an hour. This is where this would happen. But here's a little secret, you guys. You'll never believe what is the one, and this should say, it's my fault. This should say grow accuracy, just like the other one, but you'll never believe what's the most jumped over stage of this cycle. It's number 2. People, or a lot of pitchers, want to learn how to do mechanics and how to generally pitch and have certain mechanics, but they don't want to master their mechanics, and they don't want to go through step number 2. They immediately go from 1 to 3. And what happens when that happens is all your mechanics are washed out. Your consistency goes away. You're not being able to be accurate. You're not throwing hard. You're getting frustrated because you haven't gone through the great proper steps to be able to build one on top of the other. And when you go from step to step, mastering them, learning about them, being all in with them, you get not only confident just physically with what you're doing, but you get confident mentally. You know that you've put in the work. You know that you've prepared. You know that you've gone through the steps to be successful. Okay, so it's a cycle, right? So our ultimate goal is to get to stage number 4. But I mean, let's just say for an example, you get to 3, you start to add that velocity. And look, whenever you add velocity, it's not going to be like overnight, you're the most accurate pitcher and you can put the ball wherever you want to, throwing 70 miles an hour. It takes a little bit of time. That's completely normal. But it gets to a point where maybe if it's been a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're still not having great accuracy with that velocity, you have to go backward in the circle. And that's okay. Every pitcher will do that because we're all trying to learn to get better, push ourselves. And then sometimes we have to go back and make adjustments with our mechanics. Now in the middle, you'll see it says strength, body awareness, competitiveness, mentality. At every stage, those are to be worked on. At every stage, even at 1. Even when you're learning your mechanics, you're tweaking your mechanics at stage number 1, that's where you want to be. And I think sometimes pitchers will get ahead of themselves or think that they're at stage number 3 when they forgot number 2, and really they didn't even master number 1. They're so excited to gain velocity. They're so excited to learn new pitches that they didn't go through 1 and 2 in a way that is going to really help them to where they can continually grow in the future. Okay, so that's my success cycle. So a big part of this, and let me explain this next part. I have this whole white area on the right. That's for, I'm not going to get super deep into this, But that I'm going to show you just ideally the order of pitches that I would teach. If I was working with a pitcher from scratch, the order of pitches that I would teach a pitcher to learn them. Okay. Now, let's say before I move on, let's say this is, we're in the success cycle. We go through it with a fastball. We're going to learn our fastball foundation. We're going to grow our accuracy with our fastball. We're going to add velocity to our fastball, and we're going to take it into a game to see how confident we can be, how unbreakable we can be, which I usually tell that by strike percentage. How many strikes is a pitcher throwing in a game? Can she throw strikes in a game? Because if we can't throw strikes, then we're not doing our job. Write this down in your journal. Our number one job as a pitcher is to throw strikes. Okay? Write that down. Our number one job as a pitcher is to throw strikes. Why? Because when we throw strikes, we can get outs. And getting outs is our number two job as a pitcher. They can be pop flies, they can be ground balls, they can be strikeouts. We love all outs. Because when we're getting outs, then we can limit the other team to runs, and then we can win the game. Throw strikes, get outs, win the game. Okay? So here's the order that I would learn, or I would teach pitches in, ideally. Now look, you guys, you have to understand, every pitcher is very unique and individualized. But if I had one pitcher and I could teach her a certain order of pitches, this would be it. Fastball, changeup, drop, rise, curve, and then screw. And look, I know you guys are gonna say, well, what about my drop curve? What about my off-speed drop? Those fit in there. This is just a normal set of pitches here that this is the order that I would teach them if there was no such thing as a drop curve, okay? No such thing as an off speed. I love teaching the drop ball in general first. Between drop and rise, if you have more natural rise ball spin with your fastball, which is a thing, then I would teach a rise before drop. But in general, normally girls have more drop ball spin with their fastball, even naturally, than rise, okay? So something to understand is that, like I told you before, so fastball would go through stage 1, 2, 3, show that you're confident with it in a game, go to 4, and then we learn changeup. Then changeup would go through, we're gonna learn the technique of a changeup, learn the form, we're gonna become accurate with the changeup. We're gonna add not velocity, but we're gonna add movement to the changeup to get it to dive down. And then we're gonna throw it in a game and see if we are confident and unbreakable in the circle with it before we learn a new pitch, okay? So it goes in a circle, right? Same thing for a drop ball. Then we would do rise ball, then curve. And we go through this circle of success, a success cycle for each pitch. Not wanting, when we're learning a rise ball, to go from 1 to 3, quick movement, because then we have great movement, but we can't control it. And if we can't control it, then we can't throw strikes. And that's our number one job. Okay, so that is my success cycle. Now, I'm gonna go through your comments for a second. Yeah, if you only know fastball, totally fine. If you only know fastball and changeup, that's great. A lot of college coaches, you guys, those of you who are wanting to play in college, a lot of college coaches think that you can win with 3 pitches. That's it, 3 pitches. And a lot of them, a theme going on in college right now is rise, drop, and changeup. Because a rise ball and a drop ball, they break the plane of a hitter's swing. So if you can break the plane of a hitter's swing, you're more likely to miss her bat. And then you have to be able to change speeds. But while I have you, one of the biggest things that I want all of you guys to hear is that it does not matter how many different pitches that you have. When I hear 10-year-olds with 8 pitches, 5 pitches, I guarantee you jumped over some stages. I would guarantee it. I know that you did it. Mastery, you guys, master. Have great foundation. Really master your mechanics. Master putting the ball where you want to put it. Take time to add velocity while you're still accurate and see if you can carry that velocity that you worked on into a game before you move on. Okay? Because look, if we can do it in practice, but we can't do it in a game, then we haven't really mastered it yet. Then we're moving on too soon. So those of you who are great at throwing a pitch in practice, to be able to move on, you've got to be a confident, unbreakable pitcher in a game. Yeah, and if your fastball is more like a screw, I guarantee it either screws and goes either up or screws and goes down. Mine was the same way. Mine screwed and went a little bit more down. Okay? It's okay if whatever your natural fastball movement is, it's okay so long as you can control it. And that's where stage number 2 comes in, or you fix it in stage number 1 with some mechanical adjustments and then grow your accuracy. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so those are my 4 stages for to become a confident, unbreakable pitcher, which look, I know I see so many of your faces right now and it's so amazing. 510 of you are on here. I know that all of you guys have it inside of you to be able to really focus and go through each of these stages 100%, make the decision, buy in to have great mechanics, grow your accuracy, add velocity and or movement, and then show that you're a confident, unbreakable pitcher in the game. You're strong, you have great body awareness, you're competitive, and you have a mentality that when you are in the circle, you're a leader. You have the mentality that when you're in the circle with the ball in your hand, you are tough because all eyes are on us. We have to have that mentality. And we have to, at the end of the day, we have to be able to come through in games. So let's move on to the 4 keys for accuracy. These are my 4 keys for accuracy. So my first key, so this is accuracy, control accuracy, being able to put the ball exactly where you want. Actually, it's my fault. I wanted to go through our mechanics first. Mechanics first. So the first mechanic that is important, you guys can write this down. You guys can write each of these down, is launch position. Our first important mechanic that we have to get to is a launch position. It's like a sprinter start. It's like you are sprinting at the beginning of your pitch. You have a bend in your front leg. Your chest is headed forward, but it's not bent down by your hips. You're in control. You truly are in a powerful launch position, ready to be explosive off of the pitching mound. Our second one, you can write this one down. The mechanics that are just so important for you to have. The first one is launch position. The second one is what I call glide. So pay attention right here to my back foot. You're getting on your toe, your heel is lifting, and your toe will start to glide off of the pitching rubber. Okay? And also in this position is what I call lift. So glide has to do with your drag foot. Lift has to do with your stride foot, where your knee is coming up near your hip. It doesn't have to get all the way up there. But when you stride and you lift your leg, it helps you get taller. Now you'll notice, look how tall I am in this pitch. I went from that kind of bent position in my launch to tall with my chin over my belly button, and my knee is driving up. Okay, so glide and lift are 2 more mechanics that are important that you see in this position. So for number 4, 1 is launch, 2 is glide, 3 is lift. The next one is what I call reach. That would be number 4. So reach is where this foot reaches out toward the catcher. Lift is about more up with your stride leg. Reach is about more out. Okay. And you'll also see this isn't one that I have listed here today, but drag. You're dragging with your heel up, your toes down. And there's a bend in my back knee. These numbers don't necessarily go with what I'm saying, by the way. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make that confusing. So reach has to do with your front stride foot reaching toward your catcher. Now notice in this position, I am open. That's another important mechanical thing. I'm getting open. That's number 5. 1 is launch, 2 is glide, 3 is lift, 4 is reach, 5 is getting open. My belly button is pointed toward third base. My chest is open, my glove is tall. Okay, then moving on. This is going to be number 6, firm front side. So what this means is I have a firm front side. My chin, belly, and knee are behind my front toes. A firm front side doesn't let my chest go over my front foot. I never bend at my waist. I'm staying tall. I'm using my abs. And a big part of that is this leg. That leg that lifted, the leg that reached, it lands and it is firm against the ground. It's not soft, it's not super bent, and I'm not bent at my hips. Okay, so that would be number 6, firm front side. Now the next mechanical position is release point. Now you'll notice about release point, my arm is close to my body. My chin is still behind my front foot. I'm dragging with my toes. So this is release point. If you could like see it from behind me view, then this part of my arm would be touching my back leg. It's making contact. It's not jamming, it's not hurting, it's not causing a bruise, but it comes just close enough, this part of my arm, to touch the back side of my leg. And then finally, what happens? We have our finish. Okay, that would be number 8. So my back knee is coming to my front knee, and I'm tall, not falling over my front foot, not leaning with my shoulders, but snapping through the ball and finishing out in front. So that would be number 8. So we'll go through them one more time. Number 1 is launch. Number 2 is glide. Number 3 is lift. Number 4 is reach. Number 5 is getting open. 6, firm front side. 7, release point. 8, finish. Okay, so those to me are the most important mechanical positions. Now there are a few more like that I talk about in my course that are important, but those are like the ones that I wanted to tell you about because they kind of pair with each of those pictures. Now what's cool about those pictures is that you guys can, because you'll all be able to access a replay of this, you can go back and compare your video that you take of yourself or a picture next to the pictures that I just showed you. I'm telling you guys, look, I had great coaches. Looking back, I had no idea how good I had it. My coaches taught me such good mechanics. I left out the part that I was only 5'5", and I threw 69, 70 miles an hour. So those of you who you're a different parent or a different player or a different coach says you're too short, too whatever, too this, too that, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. It's all about your hard work and understanding your mechanics and being able just continually grow a little bit every single day. It doesn't have to be that you become some different pitcher in 24 hours or in a week or even in a month. Your goal should be to work as hard as you can, push yourself, learn as much as you possibly can. Okay? You'll just grow a little bit at a time. Not going to happen overnight, but you have to trust that it will happen for you. Okay. If I'm glitching, I almost would guarantee that it's your Wi-Fi, not mine, because I'm actually plugged into the, whatever the Wi-Fi box is called. So let's go on to our 4 keys to accuracy. And I hope that you guys are taking notes of all this great information. The 4 keys to accuracy. Now, these are 4 important things that I would say to you and teach you if we were working on accuracy. The first one, and this is a big one because it all starts in our head. The first one is being, oh, I almost ended it, you guys. I always do that. The first one, free of doubt, full of belief. Before you throw a pitch, at practice or in a game, you have to find a way to be free of doubt in your head and be full of belief in yourself and the pitch that you're about to throw. That means gathering yourself. A sign is put down or you decide to throw a pitch at practice, that means you're all in. That means you're 100% behind the pitch. Number 2 is that you have great body control and you have balance. If you have a body that's moving and your head and eyes are moving and you're doing something different every pitch, you're not going to be accurate. And for sure, you're not going to be accurate if, like in number 1, you're only 50% behind the pitch, 80% behind the pitch. It's so important to be 100% behind every pitch that you throw, even if the pitch before got hit was a home run. Even if the pitch before you walked in a batter, every pitch is a new pitch, free of doubt, full of belief, having the best body control and working on your balance. Number 3 is visualization. So you're visualizing what you're doing. You're visualizing the pitch that you're about to throw. And this is a big one that I feel like a lot of pitchers are afraid of, or they don't really understand what that means. So visualizing the pitch before you throw it means that you're on the mound. A catcher calls a pitch. You visualize yourself throwing the best possible version of that pitch before you actually throw it. It goes through your head very, very quickly. You see it leave your hand and hit the mitt. And then you start your pitch and throw it. Visualization is so, so, so important, along with it helps to be free of doubt and full of belief. And then number 4, you create consistency. So when you create consistency, that means that your body is being consistent, your mind and your thoughts are being consistent, your breathing is being consistent, and you're being consistent with the balance and how you move your body, how you go into your windup, the pace of your windup. You're creating consistency with your mind and body. If you're not consistent with these 4 things, it's really hard to be a pitcher who your team can rely on to be accurate, who your team can know that you're going to start a game and they know exactly what it is that they're going to get out of you in the circle. Our goal is to bring that control, bring the accuracy. Okay? Now, let's see if there's any questions. Yeah, so I'll repeat these just one more time. 1, free of doubt, full of belief. 2, body control and balance. Remember, you can always go back and watch this, by the way. 3, visualization. 4, creating consistency. Those are the 4 keys to accuracy. Now I want to show you a video for the drill, my favorite drill that I wanted to take you through. And it's one of my favorite ones because it helps with a lot. For sure helps with velocity. 100% helps with velocity. But it also helps like to be able to keep your mechanics intact. Okay, this is a drill called, drum roll please. I feel like all you guys are like way on the edge of your seat. This is called long toss. I'm gonna show you, it's a 5-minute drill. Okay, it's a 5-minute video, and I want you to really go through it, and you guys can learn to do this on your own. I will tell you after this drill, after you watch it, how I would go about executing this drill if I were you. Here we go. Long toss is one of my favorite drills in the history of all the drills. I love it so much. It builds muscle, it builds great mechanics and body positioning, and it builds a lot of aggressiveness because you're going to push yourself to throw the ball further and further and further, not just every time that you, every pitch that you throw within this practice, but every time that you go out to practice it, because my goal for you is to try to do it in the same place every single time, so that way you can measure your throws and see that you are indeed in the same spot, throwing it further and further and further by measuring it. So I'm going to start at the foul line, so I know every single time that I come out to Davis Diamond at this field, that's where I'm going to start and take 2 steps into a long toss. The goal is to not throw it like a strike as if a catcher was right in front of me. The goal is to throw it in the air as far as I can in the air, to where it's not a straight pop-up, it's not a straight line drive, it's more of like a deep fly ball to center field. That's the angle that I'm going for. I'm gonna take 2 or 3 steps, totally up to you. If you wanna take 3 like we did in the power throughs, that's totally up to you, or you can do 2. I'm gonna do 2 today. So left, right, and throw, finishing tall. Every single time that I throw it, I want to mark it with a cone to be able to see how far that I'm going to throw it. Left, right, throw. I don't want to fall forward. Biggest things that I think about is that my chin stays tall, or even a little bit back here, and I'm not trying to muscle the ball with my shoulders because that will make the ball go more down. So I want to think about getting really big and open, pulling all the energy in the middle of my pitch, through my step, still staying in my legs, and driving with full force. When starting your long toss, you just want to continue to add more and more and more energy as you go. Start out at, say, 40 or 50% of your max effort, and then you'll end at a couple of throws that are a full 100% max effort, trying to throw at the furthest distance. You want somebody to be out there to mark it with a cone so that you know, you can see it visually. Okay, I'm going for further and more energy than that cone that she just put out. Okay, and that one beat it. And it's not going to be where it ends on the roll. It's going to be, you put a cone down wherever it lands. Okay, a better trajectory for that one. And that one's my furthest throw. That one is probably 100% of my max effort. So 2, find a way to measure it wherever you put that cone, wherever you're doing it at home on your own. Practice field, if you have a really, really big backyard, wherever you're doing it, find a way to measure it so you know if you're getting stronger and stronger with every throw. Now, on my way back, once I hit that full 100% effort, I want to work my way back to that 40% energy. So I'll do a couple more. Tori, you don't have to mark these ones. I'm going to try to work my way back, retracing my cones.
Okay, that was probably about 70% energy, 50% energy, and 40% energy. Then I want you to go to just your regular distance, whether you're throwing from 35 feet, 40 feet, or 43 feet. Go back and throw anywhere between 5 and 10 pitches, just regular pitch, full speed, to make sure that your release point is back exactly where it needs to be and your body positioning as well. A couple of things that I want to point out that might go wrong whenever you're doing long toss is that your chin at your release might be over your front foot. That's going to angle the ball to go down, and you're not going to get as much height on your ball as you'd like to be able to throw it for distance. So think about your chin being back over your belly button at your release, maybe even a little bit back, not too far back. You don't have to exaggerate it that much, but just enough to get your body position and an angle where you can use your legs to be able to drive the ball further. I also want you to think about too, if you're not leaning forward, to make sure that you're not leaning to the side. Oftentimes I'll see that the pitcher will stop her drag and fall off to the side. You want all of your energy going through your release and past it and up to be able to finish your pitch, still balanced and still on the line to get the most out of your bottom half, your upper half working together to be the strongest pitcher with muscle-wise and also mechanics that you can be.
All right, so like I said, that is one of my favorite drills. There are a couple of ways to do it. I talked about the 40%, 50%, 60%, all the way to 100% at your full speed, and then coming back, going to like 90, 80%, 70%, 60%. Another way to do it that I would say is a little bit more of an advanced version, if you have great body awareness, if you have really good mechanics, is to go at full 100% for 5 to 10 pitches, like I said, and then immediately go from that to your 40 feet or 43 feet distance and go hard with your full pitches. Like really try to just go all out, let it rip, because when you do your long toss, you're going to feel a lot of energy. You're going to feel a lot of strength because you should be pushing yourself. You should be using your full body. And that is what it should feel like whenever you are pitching from full distance, is that you understand when it gets time to add velocity, when it gets time to get to that stage, you understand that that means that it is time to push yourself, to move quick, to go harder, to give more. But why I talked to you about the success cycle and the importance of going through the stages is because if you're pushing yourself for more, if you're making your body go harder, you want to do that with good mechanics, because you're going to get a little bit uncomfortable because you're going harder. So if you don't have muscle memory, if you don't have good habits, if you don't create that solid foundation, you're more likely to break and do something different every time. And your body is going all over the place and it just works against you for your velocity instead of working together. So again, long toss, one of my favorite drills. I did that all the time when I was younger. One of the most important parts about it is that you do it at the same place over and over and over again. So that way you can find a way to measure yourself. Your goal is to push yourself. Your goal is to beat your furthest throw, your furthest pitch every single time that you go out. Because you know when you do that, you were mentally ready, you were physically ready, your mechanics were ready, and your body is stronger. So that's why I love that drill so much. I could do it all the time. I would say, you know, if you could get it in once or twice a week, that would be great. But if you're somebody that's like, oh, I can only get in a couple of times, if you can only do it 2 times a month, I would do it. If you can only do it 1 time a month, I would do it. I believe in it so much that I would tell you, just do it when you can. Maybe not 4 or 5 times a week, 3 times a week, that might be a little bit much. 4 or 5 times a week might be a little bit much. I mean, I think you could get, I had a fly on my head. I think you can get, I think you could do 2 or 3 and be good with it too. Okay. So, I hope that you guys, you see this fly that is going around? This thing has been in this house all day And we have come up with little fly traps around here because I didn't want it to be flying in my face for this training. And here it is again. All right. What I wanted to tell you about is, by the way, time out. Those of you that are just being the best listeners right now, I am so proud of you. You have to know that. And it's a lot of you. I'm not saying this because there's only like one or two. I'm saying it because there are a lot of you. And I want you to know it speaks volumes about the type of pitcher that you are and the type of player that you are and leader, that you dedicated 45 minutes, an hour of your time to come here and get better. And you're making the most of it. That's what being a great pitcher is all about. It truly is. When you are somewhere, you're invested. You are a leader, whether it's you're listening, hustling from position to position, walking into the field, having the best presence, the best leadership, the best energy that you possibly can have, whether it's right here on this Zoom or in the middle of a game where maybe you're not doing so good, or in the middle of a game where you're doing great. Your job is to be locked in, focused, consistent, and ready whenever you possibly can. So those of you, which is like literally like 90% of you, I'm scrolling through these pages. Awesome job. Seriously. Awesome, awesome job. Now, I want to tell you, like I told you guys about before, I want to tell you about my course that just opened up today. Now, why I love it so much, and I think that you guys probably know a lot about it or you've heard about it before. Why I love it is because of the community that it builds. For example, like this, we have weekly Zoom calls. We get to be on a Zoom just like this and work through the content, come up with new drills, do some workouts, come up with some mental things. We have different things that we do. Okay, so here is a little bit about it. It's Foundation Maximizer course. 6 weeks. It's a paced course, meaning that I take you through it day by day. I do that on purpose. I don't want to just give you all the information, because then I know this for a fact, people get overwhelmed. People feel like they can't get through it all. People feel like it's too much for them and they won't ever be able to work through all of the information in it. It's a Foundation Maximizer course because we're going into mechanics. All the mechanics that we just talked about, plus so much more. 20 drills, 20 explanation videos about mechanics and what I call body awareness measurements, our group Zoom calls, and we have a private support community that is pitchers with pitchers. It's not a private Facebook group. It's our own private community where we support each other, where I'm helping out pitchers, where pitchers are helping out other pitchers. And we are forming a community that is there for inspiration, a helping hand, a positive spirit. Now, this is funny, you guys. The great part about it is that there's a mobile app that you guys can download and have this course wherever you go. At practice, in a gym, at a facility, out on the field, wherever it is, you can have all of the information on the app. Now, here are the bonuses that I have for this Foundation Maximizer course. And for those of you guys who, this is the first time I'm offering it with the Foundation Maximizer course, but those of you guys who I know are on this call are probably like a little bit jealous. Don't worry, you're getting it too. I don't want anybody to get all hot and heavy of like, oh, we didn't get that. You're getting it in your own things. You guys know what's going on. But for this Foundation Maximizer course, it's the first time that I'm going to be offering weekly nutrition tips. I'll have a meal plan to go with whatever the topic is for the nutrition tip that week. Also, it'll have a weekly strength workout attached to it, where a strength coach will take you through certain movements that will make you stronger. You'll get lifetime access for all of the content, and you have the ability to purchase what I call the trifecta. Now, the people who took this course, it's only been offered one time. There's been one group that has gone through the Foundation Maximizer course. And that's what's so awesome about it, is that it's one, like I have an open and closed enrollment date for it, because I want everybody to be in it together. I don't want to be 3 weeks in and then there are new people coming in who are asking questions, bugging the people who have already been in there. Nope. I want everybody to be on the same page. I want everybody to be on the same plan because it gives more support. It gives more strength. It gives more cohesion inside of our community. Okay, so now you have the ability to purchase what I call the trifecta. And the group that went through it the first time, I only offer this 4 times a year for open enrollment. The group that went through it the first time, they weren't able to buy everything all together for the trifecta. But the trifecta is the Foundation Maximizer course that I just told you about, the Accuracy Maximizer course, and the Velocity Maximizer course. You do it in different stages, just like the success cycle. So you'll go through the foundation course for 6 weeks, and then the accuracy one starts. Go through it for 5 weeks, and then the velocity one starts. And you guys, if you get the trifecta, which I call it the trifecta, I literally just made that up, but if you get the bundle of all the courses, it will take you, you'll have planned workouts and videos and a plan to follow through Christmas, all the way through Christmas. So if you're somebody who lacks direction, lacks motivation, needs some like a helping hand to get through a few mechanical quirks, or you need to become more accurate or gain a little bit of speed, this is for you. And what I want to say too, a huge benefit of growing through stage 1, like I showed you guys, growing through stage 1 here. Please stop writing on it. A huge benefit of going through stage 1, building your foundation, is that you end up gaining speed. You end up gaining accuracy without saying, all right, we're working on, we're only just gonna work on velocity right now. No, you guys, listen, when you have better mechanics, when you have a stronger foundation, you end up gaining speed. You end up gaining accuracy because your body is working the way that it should, because your body is simplifying everything and understanding where it needs to be to get the most out of it. So that's why this course, the first course that I offer, is so awesome, because there's so many different benefits of it. And all pitchers of all ages can take it. We had pitchers that were 9 and 10 years old. We had 14, 15-year-olds. We had a 17, 18-year-old, a girl who signed her letter of intent while she was taking the course, and we got to celebrate her. We even had a pitcher, and I think she's still on this call, who was on the Austrian national team. So it's literally like, if you are a pitcher and you want to get better, this course will help you. You will benefit from this course mentally and physically for a lot of different reasons. But now, like I said, for the first time, you can buy the foundation course and also get accuracy and get velocity. And if you are drawing on the thing, please stop again. And there is also a VIP option. So you can upgrade to VIP. Now, when you do that, you're going to get to send in videos, and I'm going to be able to look at your videos and give you analysis. This will be on a weekly basis. This is limited because I can't do it for 500 people. So it's limited because it is just a lot whenever there are 300 or 400 people in the course. So the VIP upgrade is limited. Now, I have to tell you, I just launched this course 5 hours ago. And I opened up a few VIP spots because I knew that this webinar was happening. So there are a few left, but there aren't a lot, like not a lot. I'm really gonna have to sit down and kind of take a look at things, because it's been crazy the amount of girls who have signed up for this course since I launched it at 9 a.m. Like, and when I say crazy, I mean crazy awesome. So really think about it. If you want to know more, if you want your parents to know more, I'm going to have another Facebook Live like I did this morning at 9 a.m. I'm going to have another one at 7 p.m. Central Time. So you guys can join me, find out more, ask questions, have them hop on. Now, if you guys have any questions about what we covered, then you can always ask me. You will also get a link for the replay of this course or of this training tomorrow. So it will hit your emails The people who ended up, not being able to get on this training, they'll be able to watch the replay too, and you can watch it as many times as you want. Look, here's the thing, you guys. There were so many benefits of this online training. And like the first time that I offered it, I believe in myself a lot. But the first time that you do something, you don't know exactly how it's going to go. So while I thought it would be great, I didn't really know how great it was going to be. I didn't really know how much it was actually going to affect all of these awesome pitchers and how big of results they were going to see. So now that there's already been a group that's been through the Foundation Maximizer course, I know what it's like. I know what you get out of it. I know how much it helps you and your body and your mentality and being able to grow as a pitcher. So whereas, I was pretty confident before, I'm like, wow, any pitcher needs to be able to get in on this because it can be that helpful for your everyday practice routine to be able to learn as much as you can. Okay. You guys are awesome. I want you to just see this one more time and then I'll let you go. It's right at an hour. I can't believe it. Normally I go over just because I like to talk. I want you to see this quote just one more time. Okay. Your success is not final. So if you feel like you're really good right now, don't rest on your laurels. Don't just think that it is final, that how you're great and you're going to be great forever. You've got to keep working. If you feel like, I'm frustrated, I'm a little bit defeated, it's not the end. You can work through it. I know that you can. And have courage. Keep going. Get up every day and push yourself to get more out of yourself. Okay? You can do it. I know that you can. It's a decision inside of your head. It's a way of thinking whenever you wake up in the morning. I know that you can get more out of yourself and continue to push yourself to be the very best pitcher that you can be. If you are feeling a little bit down right now, you're not the only person in the world who has ever felt that way. If you feel like you're not the best pitcher on your team, if you feel like things are really hard for you, it's okay. It doesn't mean that tomorrow can't be better. It doesn't mean that a week from now it can't be better. Keep going. Keep pushing. I am just, again, so happy that all of you guys attended this. You are awesome. Thank you guys so much for following me and being supporters of everything that I do. Know that I'm here for you. And if you need anything, you guys know where to find me. Let me know if you have any questions ever, okay? You guys are the best. Bye. Can you guys all wave at me? And smile? All right, beautiful. Bye, guys.